What's up, people? This is Mr. UV, aka Mr. Ultraviolet, and today this is a video on Wild West Heroes. I'm running through character development, building up your heroes, and building up the most optimal team that you can build. Now, on a footnote, everyone's teams and profiles and accounts are going to be different based off of what day you start. You might have different characters in this welcome wagon. It might change. As for me, I get these two, Darling Dove, a 50 fragment, which is a one unlock cover, one for one. And at 7 days, I get the town sheriff. So that's two people from the Green Thumbs faction, or if you go by the cards, the Clovers. Those are the characters I'll be getting from my 7 day welcome wagon. This is my fourth day currently playing. Now, don't let that confuse you on why I'm making the content, because I am the strongest and top player in my server. My server is S34, and my name and account is Mr. Ultraviolet himself. Ultraviolet spaced, that's it. And my alliance or posse is Outlaw Nation. O capitalized, L capitalized, space, nation, N capitalized. Right now we're at 17 members. We got one open slot. It might be full by the time you see this video, but hopefully we'll build up the alliance to get people in if you want to come in. Now, on to the video. Now, I am the top player. 500k is my team power. As you can see right there, 500k. And these are my characters. Now I'm going to run through on how you should build them up. The most optimum way that you should do it. Now, like I was saying, everybody's account is going to be different. At the beginning, when I first started, it took me maybe I didn't get another epic or purple hero until my second day. The first day, no, I'm lying. The first day I did get some epics, but it took me maybe an hour or two. It was a while. Like the first epic that I got from pulling. Now I did go ahead and had an offer spend it was like it was $1.99 offer. So $2 for 10 pulls in the recruit. When I say pulls, I mean the recruit station, stagecoach. You got 10 of these. You was able to pull and open up and maybe get a character for $2. And then they had a little offer that showed up in the top right hand corner. And it stated after making one purchase, you also got a copy of Darling Dove. So my guess the way that they was putting this whole thing in game together and offer was that if you bought that first offer, you'll get the first, Darling Dove, and then on your fourth day you'll get the second copy of her. And you'll be able to fuse that character together and put a purple star on her. And then you would get in 7 days the town sheriff, which is of all the same faction, Green Thumbs or Clovers. Now, you could go the free to play route. You do not have to spend money. My wife, she literally on her first day, first pool, she got three purples, three epics. I call purples epics. I call yellows legendaries. Red characters haven't been introduced, but when they are, I call them exotics. Blues, I call them rares, and greens, commons. Just, the normal thing that you see playing other games. But back on topic, my wife on her first day, first pull, she got three purples, three epic heroes. First pull. Her second 10 pull, she got three more epics and a legendary. This was the legendary that she ended up getting. That was amazing. Free to play. So everyone's account is going to be different and reflect different things based off how lucky you are or how much money you're spending. But that's neither here or there. When you first start the game, the first epic or 5-star character that they give you is this guy right here, Maverick. Now, Maverick is a tank. And if you're asking, how do you know that? Well, I'm going to run through how the interface or UI works, so you'll be able to distinguish which character is which without having to really guess. Now, if you look right here, it tells you he's a smooth talker. Smooth talkers are the diamonds. It tells you what advantages or disadvantages they have. Now, they have the advantage over the clovers, which are the green thumbs. But they have a disadvantage against the spades, which, if I'm not mistaken, are right offhand, I can't remember what they're called, but I can figure it out for you real quick. Let's go ahead and go here. Alright, they're called duelists. Now, back on topic. This guy, Maverick. This is the guy you're going to get first. Now, if you look right here, it tells you the advantages and disadvantages they have over different factions. And the next thing, so it tells you his role. He's going to stand in the front. It tells you what position they have. You see that it says front with the shield. It tells you what position on the battlefield that he's going to be placed. There are 3 positions. There's front, there's mid, and there's back. He's going to be in the front. And when you click it, it tells you what role that character may play. He plays a tank because he's in the front. He's there to soak up damage and protect the people that's behind him in the mid or the back. Now, specialty is resistance. That usually means the specialty is going to tell you what stats or type of, I wouldn't say role, but traits that he's going to specialize in. Now, how Maverick work is he's the type of character that's going to, eat attacks and, status effects isn't really going to have that much of an effect on him. Now, his kit, everyone's kit is different and specific for that character. I'm not going to run on each specific character. I'm going to do a tier list video in the future at a later date, so look out for that. And I will run through who, in my opinion, with a grain of salt, is the best characters in the game. And he is not one of them. I would say he is roughly top 20. I mean, it's like 27 characters in the game, so that's kind of an understatement. But he's better than you think. He's better. He's not low, and he's not too bad. He's more of a mid-range character. But on specific teams, he does very well. Now, character development, this is how you want to go. You got 3-4 different tabs that actually matter. The top one is the main one, so it's always going to show that one. The first one tells you, their kit, what abilities they do, and how they work, passive things of that nature. And I call it shield rank. The game have yet to give me an official name for it. I just call it shields or badges. You can call it badges. And mine is that let's see, 5 badges. It goes up to 6. That is the cap. In the whole game, nothing is higher than that. But the stars on them does change. If you look right now under Maverick, right here, if you can see where I'm pointing, he is a purple star, one singular. Those stars can go up. If I'm not mistaken, it should go up to 5. It may go up to 4. I'm not 100% sure. But I know at either 5 or 6, the stars turn from purple to red. And this is how I know it for a fact. Because if you click Hero Gallery, it shows you what the character base stats, no buffs, no gear, what their stats will look like. And mainly, all the characters in the same round of faction, I wouldn't say faction, but category, as in roles, typically have around the same round stats. So, Pathfinder, she's a mid-range, she's a DPS. Her stats, if you look, compared to other legendaries, let's look at the attack and the health and the defense. It's going to be around the same. Let's see who the next person is. Okay, Tex. As you can see, their stats are identical. Base stats are identical. Now, the Marshal, his stats change. That's because he's a frontman. He's a tank. That's why his stats are different. That's why he has, if you look, he has more defense. Because his job is to sit there and take damage. But typically, everyone in that same class type, tanks, DPS, support are all going to have the same base stats. Now, my Pathfinder might be stronger than another Pathfinder on another account that can have the same amount of purple stars and same amount of badges. But my stats can be different than theirs because of gear. And the horses give you stat bonuses and boosts and things of that nature, as well as where you assign them on their board or in your town. Like, I have my Pathfinder on the dance hall, and my dance hall is level 5. So she's getting an extra 4,000 health, and she's getting dodge 5%. Excuse me. That's the duplicate I have. The main one that is 3 stars is getting 450 attack and 4,050 health. Now, those stats right there, those buffs and boosts can also ultimately, change your character's stats. So, with that being said, no one's account is going to be the same. Everyone's account is going to be different. You can have the same team, but my team can be different than yours based off of gear and boosts and all of that other stuff. Now, when you start the game, you're going to get Maverick for free. He's the first 5-star ultra purple character that you're going to get. I almost said my name, but he's the first character you're going to get, right? Later on, you are going to get other epics, other purple characters, 5-star characters. It is all random based off your pulls. Now, what you want to do, based off of what you pull, you're going to want to try to put a team together that somewhat have the same factions. There are exceptions based off the amount of characters you have from a specific faction. Now, I'll take you into a match real quick. We're really not going to fight. We're just going to take you there so you can see the bonuses, the team bonuses that you get. Okay. Go to campaign. I am on campaign 11-1 at this moment. I am the furthest along on my server. I am rank 1 in everything, all the content on my server. Alright, now if you look here at the top left corner, it's going to tell you the bonuses that you get per faction, amount of characters in each faction, and how you mix them together, and what stats you can get. If you have 4 heroes from all different factions, you're going to get 10%. That's the base. 10% attack and 10% health is the base value. Goes no lower than that. That's the base. No matter how crazy your joint or your team is set up, it cannot go no less than 10%. The next tier up, it says that if you have 3 heroes of the same faction and 2 heroes of another faction, so that means 3 of them have to be from one, and then 2 of them, the last remaining 2, have to be from the same faction. It can't be 3 and then from one faction, and then 1 from another faction, and then 1 from another faction. In layman's terms, you can't have 3 diamonds, 1 heart, and 1 spade to get the 15% attack and 15% health. The other 2 have to be from the same faction, so it has to be 2 diamonds and 3 clovers to get the next tier up, which is 15% attack and 15% health. Now, there is one exception to that rule, and that's with jokers. Now, the way I describe jokers, I say white jokers and black jokers. Those are these down here. The white jokers are actually called regulators, and the black jokers are actually called ramblers. Now, the white jokers, they take the suit, or they take the faction of the highest number of characters from that faction. Layman's terms, if you have 3 hearts on your team, and then you have 1 diamond, and you have 1 white joker, that white joker is going to take the suit or faction as those 3 hearts, because you have 3 of them compared to the 1 diamond. So you're going to then have technically 4 hearts and 1 diamond, which will categorize under the next tier stats, which will be use 4 heroes of the same faction, meaning 4 of them got to be the same, and the last one can be anything. That's going to give you 15% health, which is the same as the one under you or above it in this instant. But you also gain an extra 5% attack this time. So that's 20% attack. That's the next tier. That is a good optimal one right there that's balanced. But the probably easiest one that you can put together will most likely be 5 of the same here are 5 heroes of the same faction. That's probably easiest one that you can probably do from the beginning, considering that you're gonna get about 3 or 4 green thumbs or clover characters just from start. Like I think 2 of them were gonna be like 4 stars, and then they automatically give you the strange as soon as you start the game, which is a great damage dealer. And then you can throw another one up there if you got it, or you can just rock with Maverick or the recommended team that they give you. But yeah, it's totally up to you, but that's how it goes. Now with the 5 heroes from the same faction, which is 5 and 5, all out, same guy, full hand, full house is what they call it in the game, you're gonna get 25% health, big, and 25% attack. Now that sounds great, very optimal, but it depends on what you get or recruit, who you pull, what characters you have in your roster. You don't want to have a whole bunch of 5 stars and then a 3-star, or 1 5-star and 3 stars and then 1 4-star just to get the 25%. The damage is not gonna even out, because those 3 stars are not gonna do as much damage as a 4 or 5-star. So you're gonna have to play with it, mix and match, and get the best stats that you can get on the character and the best bonuses you can get per team based off the factions that you have. Now the black jokers, they work a little different than the white jokers. The way they work is, the more black jokers you have on the team, the more buffs that you get. If you have 1, you get defense 30%. If you got 2, grit. Grit is specials in this game. You get grit from taking damage, 25%. So every time you get hit, you get 25% special meter. 3 is crit. Don't get it confused with grit. Grit is the special with a G. Grit. Crit is critical. 3 says crit rate 15%. So you get a plus 15% crit rate. And then 4 is crit bonus. Think of crit bonus like crit damage. You're going to get a bonus of 15%. So you're going to do more crit damage. And the amount of crit damage is based off of your base damage. So it's like a multiplier of your base damage is what calculates into what a crit damage would be. Then, according to this, that 15% will be a 15% of whatever that crit damage was. And then 5, which is a full team, full house of black jokers, you get 15% accuracy. Now, mind you, with a full black joker team, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure because I don't have all 5 black jokers. I've never tested it out, but if I'm not mistaken, you should get all of those boosts, 1 through 5, if you have a full team. Don't quote me, but the way that the text is reading, I'm guessing that that's how it should work. And this applies to every hero on the team. Now, the best bonus that you can get out of making a team is 3 from 1 fraction. I say 3 diamonds. 3 diamonds. Then you have a white joker and then a black joker. Now remember, the white joker is going to take he's going to take the same faction or suit as the majority of them. So if you have 3 diamonds, that white joker is going to become 4 diamonds. Then you have that black joker. So if you look at all the buffs and boosts you're going to get from the team formation, you will get what? 4 heroes of the same faction. That's 3 diamonds, and the 1 joker makes 4. That's going to give you 15% health, 20% attack. Then that one black joker is going to give you 30% defense. That is the best formation that you can make in the game. Unless you want to, go for the 15 and 15 with the 3 and then maybe get 2 black jokers. It'll give you what? The game crit? Grit, the special. From this point forward, I'm just going to say special for grit so we don't get it mixed up because crit and grit is so close. I don't want people to be misled. So, with 2 black jokers, you can gain extra special. It depends on what you're looking for. But me personally, I would say that it's better to go with the 15% HP and 20% attack and then 30% defense. That's the best way to go right there. Now, we're just going to leave out this battle. You're going to waste your time with it. Even though battle in this game is very fast due to the skip and speed times 2 option. Now let's go back to the roster. Now, like I said, early on, you're going to get Maverick early. He's going to be the first 5-star epic character or purple character that you're going to get. Unless your first pull, well, no, you're going to get Maverick first because you get Maverick before you're even allowed to pull by yourself. The first pull that you actually get, the first time you can recruit someone from here, the stagecoach, I call these pulls. The first time that you pull, it's going to get Maverick. So the next time that you pull, which will be the second time, technically the first, but the second time, it can be anything. You can get a legendary, or you can get nothing but 3 stars, or you can get all 4 stars, or you can get an epic, or you can get all epics. It's 100% random. Trust me, it's 100% random. Now, Maverick is not a bad character. He's a great tank, especially if you have let's say on your first pull, not the one with Maverick, but your first pull that you do by yourself. If you get a lot of diamonds or smooth talkers, throw Maverick on there, throw resources in him, and level him up. And this is going to lead to my next points, and we're going to continue on through with this video. Depending on your first pull after you unlock Maverick, this is what's going to define or depict how or who you're going to level up. If I did a pull after Maverick and I end up getting, let's say, hearts, 3 hearts or 3 purple hearts, 5-star hearts, right? You have a majority of heart characters. Now you still have Maverick. So that can, now if you got another diamond, that can give you the bonus 3 and 2. So you'll get the 15 and 15, the 15 HP and the 15 attack with that. You want to try to build your team based off of those bonuses that I just showed you for having your team formation according to the amount of faction members, if that makes sense. You want to try to get the highest you can get without having to sacrifice for getting 3 stars rather over than a 5-star. So whatever you get off your first pull, you'll want to start leaning into that. Now, a great spot to help you get through the content early on, I would say, is probably about level 20. Level 20 on all characters, maybe on Maverick, or if you get any other 5 stars, take them to like 40. Now, the way that I recommend and the way that I did it, mind you, I've only been playing 4 days. Majority of the content in the game I've already completed. I am number 1 in everything. Story campaign goes to 13 at this point of me making this video. The highest chapter is 13. I'm at 11. I've unlocked all the other game modes. Chlamydia Cannon. I see I'm number 1. Ultraviolet. I've completed 182 stages. Alright? Let's look at the next thing. And this isn't bragging. This is showing you results. And if you follow this, you can have the same or better. PvP 1v1. Number one, ultraviolet again, by landslide, 200 points. Mind you, you're probably only getting about 20, 30 max points per fight. And it can go no less than, I think 5 is the less. So maybe 5 all the way to 30. And you're only getting 30 if you're like ranked 30 and then you're fighting maybe the number 2 slot. They might give you a lot. And for example, I'll just go ahead, you know, spend the credit and show you. Doesn't matter who I fight because I know I'm going to win. See, 6 points. 6 points. It's based off a point system. So, yeah, 200, no one's close. And as you can see, I'm ranked 9. The next guy in line was ranked, I'm ranked 10. He was ranked 9. Everybody under him was like ranked 8, 7. Mind you, majority of the higher ranking people in my server is in my alliance. Or a posse. That's what they call it. Frontier Avenger. Cleared it. Zone 3. This was on hell mode as well. Easy. Remember, this is not for bragging. This is just to show results. So you know what you're going to gain from following my advice. Now this is the stagecoach. Stage 67. I've only been playing 4 days, mind you. 66. I've already cleared. 4 days. The next guy, 43. Next guy, 8. Both of them are in my alliance. My posse. Let's look at the last 2. Last 1. This right here. Now, this right here, cat could have did way more if you would have probably looked at my total collection team power or whatever, stuff like that, how strong my team is. But I'm only using 2 type of factions. And I'm gonna go back into that right after I show you these results. But still, I cleared 55. Number 1. Alright. Now that you see the results, follow these steps and you will get them. What I'm saying is, based off your first couple of pools, that's who you should put resources in. But you should not overcompensate. Save your resources. Only level the characters up and until only level characters up to complete content. So for example, on layman's terms, you go in, you level everybody on your team up to level 20, right? These are the characters you're using. You're getting that 15 and 15 boost. You're getting the 15 attack and 15 HP from the 3 and the 5 formation. Factions 3 and 2, right? After that, you go in the match. If you win, you keep going. Don't put no resources in nobody. If you lose, level up your damage dealer. Your damage dealer is who you want to put resources in first. Your damage dealer, and depending on what your team look like, you're going to get Maverick. He's the tank. They give you him on purpose so you can sustain and make it through some of the content. But if you end up getting a healer, you might want to start putting resources into the healer after your damage dealer, because the healer is going to heal based off of their attack. So you want their stats to be a little higher so their heals can be a little higher. Then I would say your tank. The reason why I say healers before tank is because tanks typically only get hit with normal attacks. That's how tanking works in this game. All the normal attacks, the little pew pews where they're just shooting, all those attacks have to go through the tank first. Now, their specials, let's go to her. Okay. Now, your specials, those have specific targets. Now, hers, hunting party, it says damage all enemies. Okay, we're not going to do it. She's an AoE. She's going to hit everybody regardless on every special, every grid. Okay, let's go here. Damage midline enemies. Now, she's gonna, when she hits with specials, her grit, it's gonna hit midline people, which are typically damage dealers or support characters, and that's her role. She's a healer, but she can also double as a damage dealer too, based off her kit. And I'll go more in depth on that when I do my tier list. But The order that you want to go in is putting your resources into your damage dealers first, then your support, then your tanks. But you don't want to go, balls to the wall. I'm going to take them all the way up to level 100 as quick as possible and then have everybody else on your team at level 1 or 10. You don't want to do that. You want to try to level them up, all at the same time. But at the same time, have your damage dealer a little stronger than everyone else. And you should get good results. You should be able to clear content easily doing it that way. And you just do it slow. You don't need to put resources in just to beat one mission all the time. Sometimes you just go in and try again. Because the way this game is, sometimes a character might miss an attack, or they might get hit with a stun, or they might be blinded, or some status effect. And if you play it again, that character, which is your damage dealer or your tank or healer or whatever, they might not get that status effect, or they might land all their attacks, or your damage dealer might hit with a crit, and that might be what it took to get you over the edge for you to beat that mission. So sometimes before you just leave out and say, "Oh, well, I need to level the person up," try it at least 2-3 times, and if you're still losing, then go ahead and say, maybe I need to put some more levels or stuff in stats into my character. Now, once you got your team and you're leveling them up, as content gets harder, that's the key thing. As content gets harder, you only use resources to progress through content. Only level up characters that's working and fitting your plan for your team formation for you to get those boosts from the team. That's what you should do. You don't want to go too hard on a specific character because you might end up pulling or recruiting the character. Like you might have just one 5-star, which is Maverick, and then all 4-stars. And if you go ahead and put all your resources into those 4-stars, and then you get 10 credits to recruit someone, or what I call pull, and you get a legendary, you're not going to have the resources to level up the legendary. So that's why you should save your resources. Only level characters up based off how hard the content is. And sometimes you might just be losing because you're going against a faction that has an advantage over your faction. And the content after that one mission might be easy. That's happened to me many of times. So save resources. After you save the resources and you're leveling people up, and if you hit a stopping block, a stop sign, a roadblock, whatever you want to call it, then you need to start worrying about maybe like what they call like upgrading. Upgrading the character. Or let me see if I can give an example because I want to use the right terminology. Okay, ranking. It's ranking up. That's what it is. I remember. All right. Just for an example, I'm gonna do it. Don't ever do this. Promoting, right? So leave them at this point, and let's say you hit a roadblock, then you might want to go ahead and start promoting. And the way you promote is going to be the same way that you level your characters. Damage dealers in that order, trickling down. Now, to add more attack and health and all that to your characters, you got these tabs on the side. Gear is the number one first joint. That's the first one on the list. The gear is color coordinated just like the characters in different tiers. The top is red. After that, yellow, purple, blue, green. I got yellow or gold gear on her. Some purple, blah, blah, blah. Now, the way the gear works, these top two corners, the left and the right, they come with native stats that can be alright. It's kind of hard to explain. Now, this is how it goes. The top two corners, you can upgrade these. You can upgrade them, but you can replace them. So let's say I had this green item on her, and then I unlock the chest. I can either do it specifically, go in and hit replace, click the best one, or I can just hit equip. and it'll automatically put the best gear that I have in my items on that character. The top, left, and right are universal. Everyone has a jacket, everyone has boots. The gun is specific towards the role of the character, right? So certain characters are going to use hunting rifles, certain characters are going to use shotguns, certain characters is going to use revolvers. Okay? Those are the three types. It's revolvers, shotguns, and rifles. Now, what character uses what firearm, that is specific towards that character. Now, both of these guys, him and him, are both tanks, but he uses a rifle and he uses a revolver. So they can be different, but those are the three, and they have the same tiers like everything else in the game. Now, these next two on left and right, these can be upgraded. You can upgrade them with the upgrade button, right? And what's that going to do? It's going to raise the stats that's already on the gear. This gear right here is a scope. It has attack and crit bonus. If I upgrade it, it's going to raise the star level. It's going to raise the rarity, which is like the color blue, green, yellow. But it's only going to raise the stats based off what stats there are on it. It's not going to gain defense. It's only going to raise attack and crit bonus. Always attack and crit bonus. It's not going to add any more stats to it. It's just going to raise them and raise the rarity and the star of the gear. Now, the other option that you have is the switch. Switch is going to take this scope and change the attributes that's on it, that attack and that crit bonus. It's going to randomly switch it to something else, or it can switch the whole gear piece itself. So if I hit switch, it might get, let me see if I can give you an example real quick. All right, he has a grip, right? If I hit switch, I might get a grip. All right, I got another grip. It could have been something else. It could have been what she has, a barrel. It's random. And I didn't look at the stats, but the stats probably are the same or could have switched as well. Now, the upgrade, I'll show you an example of that. Just blowing resources, right? But I'll show it to you. See how I did that? It changed the star. Now, it starts at green. It was a 1 star. It goes from green, 1 star. Green, 2 star. After 2 stars, it goes to blue. Example. I'll show you. Blue 1 star. Then it goes blue 2 star. Then it'll go purple 1 star. And so on and so on and so on. I do not recommend doing this. I wasted gear on them, but it doesn't matter. It's for the example. Don't worry about doing that. The highest you should take it to at the beginning. This is for beginners. Now, some of this information you can use later on in your game. But from the beginning, and mind you, I've only been playing 4 days and I'm at this point. But at the and I'm still considered beginner, is what I'm saying. At the beginning, you shouldn't worry about changing gear and re-rolling on gear. You shouldn't worry about that. Put it to a blue, maybe 1 star or 2 star, depending on if it's your damage dealer or not. Maybe take it to 2. I've done it maybe on 1 character, I think. No character. So I haven't even took it to a blue 2 star. And it's probably because of the resources that it costs. It costs 2,000 of the oil, the gun oil. That's why I haven't did it. I want to save these resources so when I get my team built to a big beefy level and it's characters that I know that I want to go all in on, then I'll start re-rolling for the best attributes and building the gear. These two right here that I'm talking about, these two on the left, bottom, and right, those two are always going to be there. Those two you can't find in chests. The only way to change the rarity of those items and gears is that you have to upgrade them. Everything else on the screen, all these other gear pieces you can find in chests. That's how I got all this stuff. In chess, completing objectives, challenges, and things of that nature. Rewards, it's all random, stuff like that. But these two bottom, left and right, they start off basic. White, start off as a white piece of gear. I can't show you because I already did it, so I haven't leveled up too many characters. So I can't show you without leveling someone up. Okay, I'll do it real quick. I'll just see. Level her up real quick, boom. Alright. Gotta be level 20. Okay. Can't even find where she's at. Oh, right there. Alright, level 20. I'll take it to level 20 for the sake of the video. Alright. And you see how that opens up. Boom. It's always going to start off white. They always come with it. The next one on the right says it opens up at level 30. I'm not going to do that. That was just an example. Now, those pieces of gear, you don't want to focus on too much, like I said. Get them to blue, 1 star, or maybe 2 if you feel like you need to. As you can see, I haven't did it. I'm already at level chapter 11. So 1 star blue is pretty much good for me. Now the bottom one, the bottom middle, that's called a trinket. You get these in chess as well, and from completing challenges and objectives and things of that nature. They come with stats and or what they call attributes, just like any other piece of gear. They are random, and it comes, it comes with the gear. You can't change that. You can't re-roll on these. Ones that come in gear, which is like the clothes, the coat, the boots, the guns, and the trinket, you can't re-roll on them. How they come is how they come. You can't change the stats. But what you can do is upgrade them. You see what I'm doing? And you upgrade it by not hitting replace, but you upgrade it with this green arrow pointing up. And the way that you upgrade this is from fusing other gear that you have to raise that bar that's under it, to turn it to a 2 star. You see how it says 50? That's because I clicked this green scarf. If I hit these and trade all 4 of these in, you see it went to 450. It's going to take 1400, this whole bar to fill up, for it to go to a 2 star. Once again, there's another piece of gear that you shouldn't worrying about early on, because you're going to end up using a lot of your gear just to fuse and make one piece better. So when you get better characters, you're not going to have gear to put on them because you used it all on one piece of gear. So leave that where it's at, whatever it comes with, whatever rarity it is, just use it, take it for what it is. Throw it on your best characters. Like I said, damage dealers first, trickle on down. Now, a lot of these things, like I said, the re-rolling system, and the fusion for the trinkets, that all those things that you can do to gear is tied to content. You only can get to that stuff as you level up and complete the chapters in the campaign, in the story mode, right? The smithy is how you do it. The forge is how you do it. That's how you level up these gear and fuse these gear and stuff like that. You only can do that if you have it unlocked. You only can unlock it at certain milestone points in the campaign, the story. I think one of them was like, don't quote me, but it was like 5 something. Then another one might have been at like 8 or 9, and then it unlocked. So every time you get further in the content, you're able to put that back. You're able to do new things. And then, but I mean, you can unlock the spot, but you're still going to have to level the spot up before you can gain access to it. So pretty much what I'm saying is complete content to gain more. So that's why completing the campaign, it should be your number one priority, right? Because doing that allows you to make your character stronger and your team stronger, which allows you to beat more content, and then to beat the other content that you don't have to worry about at the beginning. Now, I don't want to make the video too long, so we're going to move on. Now that's gear, right? The next thing you should look at is stars. That's all right. Well, on an average character, it's not going to say star. It's not even going to appear there. Let's see. What is it going to say? It doesn't even appear. It only is going to say stars once you fuse a character. So the next thing that will be up there will probably be horses. So horses give you extra stats too. I'm not going to go too much in depth in this. I'm going to have specific videos for each one of these things in the future. So stay tuned. But the horses, they give you extra stats. Boom. This horse, she already has a horse. Okay, the horse that she has, the attributes. This horse right here, at the level that it is, it's giving me 7,000 health, 900 attack. Now, level 1 blue, we'll just throw that up there. See how that's 1,300 and 165. Big difference. That's because it's a different tier. That one's blue, and the one she had on the original was purple, epic. And its level is 38, and that one was 1. So those make a difference. The higher the level, the higher the tier of the horse, the better stats you get. And just on a side note, the horses go to a legendary yellow. Yellow is the highest horse you can get that I've seen thus far. You might be able to get an epic one. I'm not sure. But so far that I've seen at the point of content that I'm at, which is chapter 11, yellow legendary is the highest horse that you can obtain. Now, I don't want to go too in depth on a lot of advanced type things about the horses and the bonuses you get off of that. I'll do it very quick, very quick. If you don't really understand what I'm saying after explaining it, just wait for the other video and I'll go more in depth on it. Okay, now let's just use the same character. Alright, now I told you she was giving you, this horse was giving Pathfinder 7,000 attack health and 900 attack, right? Now that's at level 38. It goes to level 80. That's cap for this horse. Purple's cap out at 80, and it trickles down. I think blue 60, green is 40. All right. Now, if you look next to her, it says faction bonus. You see that heart? See that heart? It says if you assign this horse to a heart character, or what they call in the game peacemakers, you get extra buffs. And those buffs are 20% HP and 20% attack. So you get the 7,000 HP and the 900 attack plus 20% attack and health if they are a peace finder. Just like this horse right here has a buff on it too, a faction bonus. But it's only for the black jokers, which they call in-game ramblers. Now, the character that I have this horse on isn't a rambler, isn't a black joker. It's a diamond. The character I have this horse on isn't a heart. It's a clover. But that's because I don't have any black jokers at all, and I don't have any hearts that I decided to put resources in. So that's why the horse is on there. It was on there because those were the first 2 purple horses that I got. So I just chose to level them up. Now that bonus will be lovely, but it really doesn't matter as of now. The more horses I get, the more characters I get, I can mismatch them, make it so they fit, and I can get those extra bonuses. But as of right now, all that I'm worried about is the base stats that I'm getting for the rarity and level that the horse that I'm using is. Now, we're going to get into the star thing, and this is the last tab. After we finish that, I'm going to talk about the bonuses for assigning characters to different stations in your town, and then we're going to wrap it up. Now, stars. This is how they work. You see how characters, they start off, the lowest tier, right? It's 3 stars, right? They're the greens, commons. Then you have 4 stars. They're the blues. I call rares, right? Now, you can turn blues into 4-star. Okay, before I go there. All right, you got the blues. They're 4-star. Then you got purples, epics. They're 5-star. Right? All these are 5-star. Legendaries. These legendaries right here. Look at these 3. That one, right? And any other legendary you get that's unfused are always going to be 5-star. All legendaries or yellows and all purples or epics are always going to be 5-star native. That means every time you open them out of a shards that you get from like items, like these, I don't have any with the person's face on it, but they're always going to be 5-star. Epics and legendaries are always 5-star. Now the blues, the rares, they are always native. Native, meaning that's just what they're going to start off as. 4-stars. They're always going to be 4-stars. All these are 4-stars. They can be fused together and made into a 5-star. And any tier higher than them, so can be fused as well. And that's how you get the 1-star purple. Okay? So 4-stars and up can be fused. 3-stars cannot be fused. They're just fodder. Use them to level people up. Now, this screen right here, you unlock this early. The Manage Heroes. What is it called? Registry. You go there. This is where you can fuse characters, dismiss characters, and reset characters. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up because the top is the only one that matters. Now, the reset one is very important. You see all these characters? These are characters that I have resources in. The locks are ones that I'm either using on my main team or I have a lock on. The ones that you can see don't have any locks on and not being used. Right? So if I click this guy and I use 50 crystals, see down here, 50 crystals or diamonds is what they call it in game. I can reset him. And what reset does, it takes that character back to level 1. And I get all the resources that I put into that character. Everything. Gear, rations, cash, gold dust, everything. I get that 100% back for 50 diamonds. Now, a little trick that also happens with it as well. You see, he's a 5-star, right? He started off as 4. I fused them together to make him a 5-star. If I reset him, he is not going to go back to a 4-star. He will retain the 5-star status, but he will still be a level 1. He will go from level 10 back down to level 1. If I was to do this on my man's right here, which I would never do, so I'm not even going to click it to even accidentally do it, even though you got to accept it. But let's say her, right? No, let's say him, right? Right? If I click him, all these resources I put into him. See that? He's fused as well. Level 100. If I was to reset him right now, he would still be a fused character having that purple 1-star. But he will be still he will go back to level 1 and have all this stuff return. You don't lose it. It goes back into your items. So all this gear will go back to my items. This gold dust and rations and cash and gun oil. But that will go back to my items as well. I will keep all of this stuff. I don't lose it. So this is a good thing. Let's say like early on, you throw all these resources into a heart character, but you're trying to build a diamond team. And then you get that last diamond character you need, but you don't have resources to level up that last character. What you do is you take the character you don't need anymore, you bring them into here, reset, you click that, you spend the 50 diamonds, you reset them, you get all those resources back, and then you put them in the character you want. That's a great 1-for-1 deal, but it's really not 1-for-1 because you miss out on one thing. It only matters, you only start losing when you start fusing. Now, if I was to reset a character like him that haven't been fused together, I'm not losing none. He could be level 250 unfused, and I'll get all those resources back, and it'll be perfect. 1-for-1 trade. But if I was to do that on him, the fused character, I'll get all the resources back, but I'll be missing out what I used to fuse him. And I'm gonna go more into depth on that right after dismiss. Now, dismiss is just selling stuff. Selling characters. You do this. You fill this up, fodder. You click that, it'll tell you. I'll give you a preview. You click the magnifying glass, it'll give you a preview of what resources you're gonna gain for selling all these. You know? And I'll get what's on screen. And the higher tier the character, the better the resources. Let's take all this off. Now, all 5 of them gave me 60. Let's see how much he gave me. 250. That's because he's an epic 5-star. And if he was fused, I'll get even more. Now, these purple crystals, this is where you use them at. You use them in the shop. and specifically the registry tag. Now, as you can see, it takes a decent amount of crystals to unlock other characters. You're only going to get a decent amount of these crystals if you're sacrificing a decent character, right? And it's still not even a 1-for-1. I got 6 for that one 5-star epic. It's going to take me 24. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a few of those. It's going to take four epics, 5 stars. I have to sell 5 purple characters. I mean, excuse me, 4 purple characters just to unlock one in the store. It's not worth it. No way. Maybe down the line, later on, it'll be worth it. Even at the beginning of the game, do not sell any of your characters. Do not sell any of your fodder. Any 3 stars. If you're sitting there, keep pulling and you keep filling up your thing and it's saying you got to use crystals to make room in your roster, hey, don't pull. Just don't pull. And don't sell characters. And this is why. And everything's going to come full circle with fuse. That's why I went bottom to top. When you fuse a character, right, you're going to have to use that fodder. This is why you don't sell characters. Because you're going to have to use those 3 stars to fuse them to be able to use as resources for a red star and all this other stuff. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an example. All right. Now, remember I told you old dude with the glasses. He was a 5-star, right? This guy, he was 5-star. But he's a blue. He's native of 4-star. This is how you turn them into 5 stars. Now, I can't turn any of these blues into 5 stars right now because I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough 3 stars. Like right here. He has enough 3 stars, right? It takes 4 3 stars of the same faction, which is Black Jokers. I need 4 3-star Black Jokers. I got more than 4 of them, right? I can do that. But the next one that I'm clicking that won't show up, I need 6 4-star Black Jokers. So I need 6 4 stars of the same faction. I don't have them. I have 0. That's why I can't do it. Now, for this guy, same thing. I got 1. I need 6. So I can't fuse. Now, if I did have enough to fuse these characters, I will go in, tap who I wanted to use, confirm, go in, tap who I wanted to use, click confirm, and this is the most important thing. You need a duplicate of the character that you're trying to fuse. So I want to turn this guy right here into a 5-star. I'm going to need 1 copy of a 4-star of him and then another copy of a 4-star. So 1 is the character I'm going to turn into a 5-star, and then the other copy is one that I have to sacrifice to turn him into a 5-star. So you need 2 copies of the same character, 4 copies of a 4-star character of the same faction. So that's 4 characters from the 6 characters of the same faction, same amount of stars, 4 characters of the same faction, but 3 stars. This is why you don't sell 3 stars. Because right now, I can't fuse any of these characters. Because I don't have enough 3 stars. Or 4 stars. So don't sell your characters because you're going to need them. Now, as you get higher, right? That's where about the 5 stars. That's what people care about. It's 5 stars, right? Legendaries and epics. Now, this is how you get the purple stars. This is how you get purple stars. You need 1 copy of the character that you're going to sacrifice, and you need 2 copies of 5-star characters from the same faction. And then you need 2 characters that's 5-star from any faction. Now, I'm going to give you an example because I have duplicates out the woodwork. All right, let's say him, right? Let's see if I can do this. Okay, yeah. All right, bet. I can turn him into a purple star, right? 1 purple star. I got one copy. It's the one that I want to turn into a purple star, right? So you need one just to even do any of this. You need one to use. Then you need one to fuse. So every fusion, you're gonna need one. Think of it like that. Just always make sure you got one if you ever want to fuse. You're gonna need two copies of the characters, right? So I need one to fuse into them. That's checked, right? Check. I got that. Now I need two 5 stars from the same faction. Now I got them. I got more than enough, right? But the most optimum thing to do and save your resources is to use 5 stars that you fused. Use blues. Characters that were 4 stars that you made to 5 stars. That's the best thing to do. I only have one of those. But if I really didn't care and I wanted to rush it, I'll just use another purple, another epic. Confirm. Now I need two 5 stars from any faction. Doesn't even matter. Now I can choose any of these, or any epic, or I can choose a 5 star that I fuse that's blue. I'm not going to do any of this because I'm low on resources myself because I've been fusing a lot, as you can see in my roster. But the most optimum thing is to always use 4 stars. Fuse those 4 stars up to 5 and use those to level up your characters, to fuse your characters. Okay? That is the requirement for one purple star. Now, that's one purple star. That's how you do it. The more stars, purple stars you put on it, it gets more expensive. Now, to do that, I don't have a fusion hurt. Now, you've seen all that. Fusing them the first time doesn't cost anything. To put one purple star on them, it doesn't cost anything. You could do that for free. As long as you got the characters and duplicates, you can do it for free. Now, to put 2 on them, she's a level 40. Let's just say 100. The level doesn't matter. All right. To put the second purple star on them, you get these extra increases. And also, you're going to get an increase on your skill. So this passive is going to go from 2 to 3. And what changes? It's usually typically the percentage amount that changes. Everything else usually stays the same. So it goes from 25% attack that he can restore every second for 20 seconds. So he's getting 30% health, and he can increase it to he's getting 25% health. He can increase it to 30% health if I add another purple star on. Now, to increase it to 2 purple stars, it's going to cost you 2 characters from the same faction that's 5 stars. Boom, boom. I can do that, right? Then it's going to cost you 2 5-star characters from any faction. Easy enough, right? It's literally the same thing that it costs to put 1 purple star on him the first time, minus the copy of himself. So you don't need another copy of him. You just need the fodder. That's to put 2 stars on him. Now 3 is when it gets crazy, right? And obviously you need resources like gold dust. Gold dust is going to be hard to come by. Save it. I'm telling you. If you want to be powerful, a lot of these resources you're going to wish you saved it when you get to the point where you can start leveling characters up. When you get to content that's real hard, and the only way to beat it is to have duplicates and multiple duplicates, you're going to wish you had gold dust. So save it. Don't just go out leveling up all these characters because they look cool or you want to test things out. Trust me, that's not the way to do it. If you want to test out teams and stuff, go into PvP. Use level 1 characters or something like that and just fight a person in PvP, or level them up a little bit and fight them in PvP and see how they do. Don't play on 2 speed, play on 1 speed. Or the best thing you could do that's not going to cost you anything like your rank or crystals or anything like that, but you only can do it twice a day. Go into Posse, right? When you go into Posse, and excuse me, you got to go to territory, right? And the boss battles, the team bosses that you fight, because they health pool is ridiculous. But you're not worrying about how fast you can kill them. Just look at the numbers and how your team is performing. So I got a challenge right here. Let me just skip this real quick. All right, I'm not gonna do this on the video and waste time because the video could be way longer. But trust me, I would have probably did half of his health bar right then and there. Yeah. So when you get to 3 stars, I already told you what it was to do 2 purple stars. 3 star is where it gets crazy. Now, okay. I can't give you an example because I don't have any characters that's 2 stars, but I remember from what it is because it's mind-boggling. What you're gonna need is another copy of the character, and you're gonna need 5-star characters from the same faction, and then 3 randoms. So it's one more random 5-star character, and then you need another copy. The reason why I say it's crazy, like you're probably saying, "Oh, that's nothing. It's just one more extra character." It's pretty much the same thing it took. It's the same amount of resources it took you to make a 1 purple star, right? But that's hard when you got to get legendaries. See, if you look at the characters I have that I end up putting 3 stars on, they're only my legendaries because these 2 are my damage dealers based off of how their kit works. It's not even because they're a legendary. It's based off how their kit works. Some Sunset Stalker, the way her kit works, her last passive you get anytime. Well, right now it's at 80%. But when I take it to this next star level, it's going to be 100%. But 80% is still good. Because for a long time, I thought it was 100%. I didn't even know it was 80. But let's just read it for what it is. There's an 80% chance that anytime a teammate uses a special, she will use a special. And this does not consume special meter. So every time they hit, she's hitting. That's why I took her up to 3 stars. Because every time someone on my team hit, she's going to hit. And I want her to hit hard. I want her to hit like a truck. So every time they hit, she's hitting like a truck for free. Then she's hitting on her own turn. And there's 5 people on the team. So there's 4 other characters on the team. So every time one of those 4 characters hit, she's hitting. Plus her one. Great ability. Great ability. You're gonna notice most of the legendaries in the game have great kits. The Jokers have the best kits in my opinion. I'm gonna do a tier list video in the future. Look out for it. But there are characters you can get that's not Jokers and it's not legendaries that's broken or borderline broken. And one of them is Preacher. Sky right here is how I got to where I am at in content because of the shield that he applies. He creates a shield that absorbs 146% of attack on each teammate for 8 seconds. What that means is when he uses his special, because that's what this is, he's going to put a shield up that'll absorb 146% attack. He's going to put those shields up on everybody on the team for 8 seconds. And it's just going to eat damage until it caps out at 148% of his attack. So whatever his attack is, 146% of his attack is how much damage the shield can absorb. That's broken. Because the stronger he is, the more damage he can block. He's going to eat that. Your whole team's going to eat that. And then his next passive is every 9 seconds, he increases defense of the teammate with the lowest health for 25% for 6 seconds. Not only that, while this effect is active, restore health up to 25% of attack every second. Now, layman's terms, what that says is every 9 seconds in a match. There's a minute and 30 seconds in a match. A minute and 30 seconds. There's 90 seconds in every match. before you got a minute and a half before you lose. It doesn't matter if you have more characters than the enemy. If it goes over a minute and 30 seconds, you will lose. 9 seconds of that. Every 9 seconds, he's going to increase the defense of the teammate that has the lowest health. So whoever has the lowest health on your team, every 9 seconds, he's going to give them defense. Not only is he going to give them defense, he's going to heal them for 25% of his attack. So he's giving the team a shield for 8 seconds. Then 1 second after that, he's going to increase defense on whoever has the lowest health and heal them. This is why this character is damn near broken. And let's get to his last passive. All of that is good. His last passive makes him even better, even though the chance is very low. It reads, every attack, so all his little pew-pews, regular, normal, just shooting, no specials, each one of those attacks have a 24% chance to inflict dizzy on the enemies for 3 seconds long, with a chance to remove the most buffs from a random enemy, and then target, you know what I'm saying? And then it's talking about what Dizzy does, whatever. Dizzy means you can't use specials. So, layman's terms, every time he attacks with any attack, that can be specials or normal attacks, there's a 24% chance that he's going to make the enemy that he hits dizzy. Meaning they can't use no specials for 3 seconds. And he has a chance of clearing whoever on the enemy team has the most buffs, like attack up, defense up, defense resistant. Whoever on the enemy team has the most of those buffs, he has a chance to clear all of them off. That is very good. His kit is one of the best kits in the game, and he's not even a legendary or Joker. I'm telling you, Preacher is borderline broken. If you can get a Preacher, as you can see, my Preacher, I just today took him to level 140. I got to chapter 11 in the game and became #1 on my server and did all that stuff at level 100. I left this man at level 100 for the longest because he didn't need all of that, all those resources. I chose to put him in my damage dealers because that shield was lasting for 8 seconds. So I was, surviving longer. Plus he was healing, which was allowing me to survive longer. And while all this is happening, my 2 damage dealers, which are my legendaries, were just hitting hard. I didn't need it. I didn't need to level him up. But I probably am going to do it, but I'm waiting because I don't know what I might pull. I'm at a point now where I can beat a lot of stuff. I don't need to go out there and keep on leveling people up just to level people up at this point. So what I'm doing is just waiting to pull a better character. And when I get a Joker or another legendary, then I'll put resources into them. If I come to a point, maybe after a week, and I don't get them, then I'll probably put it in a Preacher. But I'm going to wrap this video up. Take all that information with a grain of salt. But I'm telling you, it will help you progress. And before I go, there is one last thing, the assigning bonus. You want to look at these. They got ones to boost crit, ones to boost attack, ones to boost damage reduction or what have you. You look at the characters and what the kit specializes in, and you put those characters in the spots that's going to give you the buffs that help their specialization or specialty. Like we were talking about Preacher. He gets shields, right? So I put him in the spot for damage reduction because I want him to live longer. So he's getting damage reduction, which means it's pretty much like defense. He's taking less damage and he's getting a health buff. But if I really wanted to increase on how strong I want the shields to be, I will put him in a spot that gives him health and attack. So his heals will be higher and his health will be higher. His heals will be higher and his shields will be higher. But I already got my 2 damage dealers in that spot. So he ended up in damage reduction. But that's it, guys. Check me out in the next video. This is Mr. UV, aka Mr. Ultraviolet. And bye.